Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in the market or to just learn from the market. But let me go ahead and give my disclaimer, y'all. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at the SPY, but I want to look at the VIX really quick just to see where we are today. The VIX is having trouble. Let's see, at that ATR trailing stop. I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Yes, there we are. Okay, so trouble places for the VIX as of right now. What's interesting in this is this 5 and 50 cross. We moved up only to go sideways, right? And support as of now is around 1521. Resistance is possibly around the 1525, which is not far. What's interesting is this bounce off the ATR trailing stop. We test this area only to sell, come back to the downside. Now, are we going to go back to the upside? That's the question, right? So where are the trouble places? Above the ATR trailing stop at 1527, we could possibly have trouble at 1528, 1536. And if we break that 1536 area, we could have trouble around 1562 and again at 1581. That is to the upside. Now, to the downside, we would need to break back under, or if we should break under the 1513 area, there's, trouble here at the 1507, 1508 area, and then the 1506. And those are kind of close to one another. So, if we break that 1506 area, just know we can come down and find support at 1491 and under the 1491, 1479. So again, I look at the VIX only to give an idea of what's going on with the SPY. Let's see where we are today with the SPY, right? So let me first say that we do have economic data coming out today that could very well move the market. So today is the 13th, and at 8:30 we have the core CPI. So that could very well, not saying that it will, but keep in mind we do have economic data coming out. It could very well move the market in either direction. So where are the trouble places for the SPY as of right now? The SPY closed at 596.90. That is interesting considering, it's been moving and having an interesting day. Let me see, pick something I noticed with the SPY on yesterday. I was looking at my charts and I noticed that the high that it made at that 599, I wanted to point this out, but looking at it on this 30-minute chart, it came down and it actually bounced off of the 200 EMA on this 30-minute chart. So again, it's always interesting, helpful to look at the different time frames to find, your trouble places, right? Or what stopped it is what I like to say. So looking at the SPY as of right now, where are the trouble places? It seems like immediately I go to this area because that was a zone. So I'm going to see if I can mark that area as a gathering spot here, because that's where price was from this area up until, let's say, around this area. Price traded in this zone. We broke out of that only to come back down to this zone, right? So where are the trouble places? We're going to say to the upside first, right? If we get back above the 595.97, we've broken through that level of resistance. Again, if 596.45 is going to be another area of resistance or trouble place. If we break that 596.51, which is really close, I would definitely watch the 596.71. And if we should break that 597.08, if we break the 597.08 area, we could possibly have trouble around 597.72, again at 598.04, 598.29, 598.86, and if we should break that 599.61 or 60, those are going to be resistance areas or trouble places, possible trouble places to the upside for the SPY. Now, back to the downside, we could very well, if we lose the area of support, I would say at 595.28, we can come back to the 595.06, and if we lose that, the ATR trailing stop is here at 594.83. If we lose that 594.83, we could very well come back to this 594.17 area, which was yesterday's, it was a low from yesterday. So that's something to be mindful of. And if we lose that 594.17 area, we could very well come back to the 592.62 for the SPY. So under that, I would watch the 592.62, and if we should break that level, 591.52, and again at 590.84, those are going to be trouble places to the downside for the SPY, so, and to the upside. So if you trade the SPY today, I always say, y'all, in the market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. Trade carefully, trade what you see, right? So we are now looking at Tesla. Tesla closed at 328.49. And as we see here, our gathering spot was here this morning. 4 o'clock candle, yes, 4 o'clock candle is here. Gathering spot, we broke out of that. So where are the trouble places? Back to the upside, Tesla would need to get back above that 336.68, which was a support for us. Now it is a resistance for us. So 336.68, if we should break that level, 339.61, and if we should break that, 342.24, 344.29, and if we break the 344.29, we have trouble around the 349.45. If we break the 349.45, we can come back to this 358.48, which is interesting, right? So I would definitely watch those places to the upside for Tesla. Now to the downside, let's say we continue declining. If we break the level of where we are now around the 332.19 area, we could possibly find support around 328.29. If we should break that level, we could possibly find support at 325.23. And if we should break that level, we can come back to this 320.30 area for Tesla as a support area. If we break the 320.30, we can come back to this 315.43. If under the 315.43, I would definitely watch the 310.33. Those are support places for Tesla, and yeah, Tesla is Tesla. It does what it does, right? So under the 310.33, we could very well come back to the 299.70. 299.75. So those are places to the upside and to the downside for Tesla. Again, I look at support and resistance on a little bit different scale. I look at the smaller scale because when I'm in the trade, I want to know where my trouble places are, right? So we are now looking at Apple. Apple closed at 224.23. Seems like here our support area is around the 223.35. Right now it's resting at this 5 EMA, so I definitely will watch that area. So as of now, where are the trouble places for Apple? It would need to break back above 223.81. That's going to be a trouble place. Again, at 224.12, that's going to be a trouble place. Above the 224.12, we could possibly have trouble at 224.29, and if we break that, 224.58, and again at 224.94, which is where that 200 EMA is on this 30-minute chart. So I would definitely watch Apple beyond those places. Now, if we break through the 224.94, we could possibly have trouble at 225.40. So those are going to be resistance areas or trouble to the upside for Apple. Now, to the downside, under 223.35, we could very well come and find support here at 223.14, under 223.14, 222.92, and under that 222.68. So if we break that 222.68, which is really close to the 222.60, I had that marked. So that is an area of support. I would say that's a strong area of support in my opinion. If we should break that, we could very well come back to the 222.01. So that is for Apple today. If you trade Apple, I would say trade carefully. We are now looking at AMD. AMD closed at 143.63. And as you can see, y'all, this is our gathering spot. This is our zone. As you know, it's been trading in this zone here for a while. So what's interesting is how it's going to break out of this zone to the upside or to the downside. So back to the upside, this is going to be a resistance area for us because we're under that now. So I would say I would definitely watch the 143.03. And it got rejected here at this 143.31. I will watch that area. Again, 143.69. Definitely watch that. And if we should break that area, 144.45. I would watch those places to the upside, 144.60, and beyond the 144.60, 145.43. If we should break that, 145.98. Those are going to be trouble places for AMD to the upside, and that here is back to the zone that it had been trading in. Now, to the downside, if we lose the support of where we are right now around the 142.65 area, we can come back to 142.21, 141.78, or 141.80. Under that, 141.02. If we break the 141.02, we can come back to 140.52. So I would definitely watch those areas for AMD to the upside and to the downside. Again, anything is possible. So we are now looking at NVDA. NVDA closed at 148.29, and y'all see it's been trading sideways, or what I like to say in the gathering spot, right? So as of now, I'm going to mark this area here as a gathering spot for us, because as you can see, price is trading. I'm going to get that off. As you can see, price is trading in this zone here. So where are the trouble places for NVIDIA? To the upside, we would need to get back above the 148.27, which is this 5 EMA. We would need to get back above 148.69, which is this resistance line that we drew from where price is, right? So if we break this level, we can come back to the high of this candle, which was around 148.94. If we should break that level, we can come back to this high, 149.35. If we should break that level, 149.65. Those are going to be trouble places again for us to the upside, or resistance areas for NVIDIA to the upside. Now to the downside, if we lose support here at 148.10 area, we could very well come back to the 147.72, and if we should lose that 147.52, I would definitely watch that area for NVIDIA. If we should lose the 147.52, 147.10, if we lose the 147.10, we can come back to this ATR trailing stop, which is around 146.52, and a previous support and resistance area, right? So 146.49. If we should lose that area, we could very well come back to 145.80, 145.42, 145.32, and if we lose that, 144.65. So those are going to be trouble places for NVIDIA to the upside and to the downside. So if you trade NVIDIA today, y'all trade carefully. In the market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed. We are now looking at Mara, and immediately I go to this area here that Mara's been trading in this zone. We have support here at 22.88, resistance 23.51. It will need to break above all of this area here back to the upside. So where are the trouble places? So it would need to break beyond or past the 23.59 area. If we should break that, we could possibly have trouble at this gathering spot here, which is around the 24.04. If we break that 24.04 area, we could very well have trouble at 24.65. And if we should break that 25.23 is the ATR trailing stop, which is not far from a level that we had marked at 25.44. So I'll definitely watch those places to the upside for Mara. Now to the downside, if we break this level of 22.88, we can come back to 22.51, again at 22.16, under that 21.79, and if we break the 21.79, 21.18 is the 200 EMA as of right now on this 30-minute chart. So if you trade Mara today, I say trade carefully, because the market should be interesting. Keep in mind, again, we do have economic data that will be coming out shortly. So y'all, I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very, very productive day today. I always like to say that, right? So, and if you could please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Why? Because we learn and we grow together, y'all. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.